Well, Dallas here, he's going to start us off tonight, I think, with the presentation on the city flag.
City flag. City flag.
Yes.
There is action on this tonight
Yeah.
Okay.
to accept it, so
I'm excited.
unless you have.
Oh, yeah, just,
All
I
right.
mean, they're one of the ones I thought would.
So, this has been a great process. It's been fun to see, fun to watch, fun to be a part of. And I know that as I've looked at opinions of people from other places, other cities, a lot of comments will come in and say, why do we, city flag is a silly thing, why do we need to spend time on that? And it's true that by having a city flag, it doesn't remove all the problems and all of the weaknesses, all of the struggles that a city has to deal with, but hopefully, and what I was hoping for is that what it would do is create some excitement in the city and perhaps some ownership too in the process of the changes of the city and the needs of the city. So, I will give you a brief summary of what happened and what the results were. So after assembling the committee, after getting approval from the city council and assembling the committee, we went after trying to publicize getting some submissions. I do think that as I start here, I think it's important to mention two main weaknesses with the way we did it. And one weakness was a short timeline. The time we started, which was the beginning of March, asking for submissions, knowing that we wanted to have something selected by May so we could have something produced by the city celebration in June, it really was tight. When other cities, when they've done it, it's lasted quite a bit longer. And then the second weakness was we knew that we wouldn't have a graphics judge to render the hand done designs into a graphics, a digital a digital design. So we knew that that was going to be a weakness. However, we had some strengths, and one strength was fantastic participation. In my, waiting on the designs to come in, I found myself holding my breath because that last week was when most of the designs came in. But we had fantastic participation. There were 47 designers, I think all but one from Elk Ridge, and 83 flags, and only one was crude.
No, that's good, I guess.
Wait, I didn't see the crude one.
That's true, you did.
You took it out.
You can talk to Royce about that later. And the majority of the designs were simple, and they had strong symbolism related to the community. And so these are some of those designs, and these are going to be on the website through the end of May. So a variety of stars with elk, sunburst, some other symbols that are connected to our area. Obviously, we're focusing on elk symbolism, which is by request, and some of them with something like a seal, which the city currently doesn't have a seal. I think it has a seal, but there's no image on it. And trying to aim for the simplicity, something that's so simple a child could draw. I know that when we're dealing with an elk, it's pretty hard to redraw that for a child, but the image of an elk on the flag is strong, and that's what we wanted. So here we have some hand renderings from the children, some more digital renderings here, and maybe someone on the city council will recognize this one. And there we go. There's a very simple one-shot draw. And they said, happy. I like elks. I like elks. Happy. So here we had, something interesting. A diamond. Here we had an image here of a bugle with the green and the black, and I suggested that they put on the antlers, and they did that, and then it became something that could be hung vertically too, a stylized E perhaps for logos. In the end, our committee didn't advance all of them, obviously, and we have some that were more detailed than others, like this.
Too detailed though,
Yeah, for.
And I think that,
Maybe
but I
for
did like it
nice.
too.
and then we had some that, went for simplicity with just the antlers and mountains, and, something like this, obviously, which this is, one of the 6 finalists included this image just with a different color scheme. And somebody on the city council might recognize this as well. This is
Who
a
submitted that, you?
this
Becky's,
combination of
Becky and I like that,
Dale and
I like
his
the,
daughter.
the round, symbol in the center.
And good symbolism there on this image. And then at the bottom
That's my
here,
favorite.
we have the 4 that were in the 6 that we took off the website for the final phase of voting. So this was a strength, the fact that we got so many submissions from 47 designers, and all but 1 I think were from Elk Ridge. So another strength was the quality of the flag design committee, I would say. So we have a member of the city council, Tricia Thomas was on the committee, and a member of the fire EMS, Linda Jones, was on the committee. And we had a flag expert from Colonial Flag, who is currently the president of the Association of the Study of Flags in North America. And we had the Sterling Scholar in Business and Marketing from Salem Hills, who I'm thankful for his help, because if anybody could have been the graphics judge, he would have been it. He helped me set up the website and helped make the changes to the website through the first and the final phase of voting. And we also had professional artist John McNaughton. We got him to participate a couple times. And so, to me, that added some credibility to our selection process. And then the final strength was the public vote. I mean, when we offer it, open it to everybody, everyone can choose from the 6 that we provided. To me, that's a strength, the residents get to select it. So, given those weaknesses and the strengths, I think that we established, we had a good foundation for the flag contest. And so then we had the final 6. And the final 6, I want to tell you who they were. So right here we had Anthony Cornejo from Astor Lane, age group 14 to 18.
Really?
He was 14 years old.
That was my favorite.
And if you must know, the committee, we were favoring this one, but we realized that we were choosing several for the public to choose from, and this one did not garner many votes. The City Stars and Bars was Sarah Millington on East Park Drive. Elk Stripes was also, happened to be Sarah Millington on East Park Drive. In honor, Antlers and Feathers was Jenna Barton. She's on North Mahogany Way. Dawn McClellan, Elk Ridge Drive. She said she's relatively new to the community. And Keith Kennedy from North Skyhawk Way. So these are all 18 plus. Obviously, this is 14 to 18. So these were the 6 that were selected and for the public vote. And the first round of voting resulted in this. This is the first selection right here. This was the second selection. So we allowed a first choice and a second choice because, what if there were 2 that were favored, but it would split the vote. So this allowed for us to identify the 2 that were the strongest. And you can see that the Elk Stripes here, if you combine those 2 percentages, and then, is this the one in honor? In honor is the purple. Yeah. So those 2 combined together were the final 2. And so then with the final phase of voting, I think what I should probably do is just hand this out, and then I'll show you what the split was on the vote. The final phase of voting, you can see everybody was supposed to vote once. We had 3 that voted twice. One of them, Becky Harwood, she voted for both of them.
Did she?
Anthony Cornejo, he voted for Upward twice, and Jackson Dean Oaks voted for Upward twice, Anthony Cornejo at Elk Stripes twice. So that really cancels it out. So I'll give this to you to show you which one won, and then I'll show you what the split was on the voting. And this is the specifications PDF of the design.
And is this to be kept under wraps?
No.
Any extra
Until the
agendas?
celebration?
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was your vote?
Yeah.
That's one I voted for too.
So the Elk Stripes was the design preferred by the public vote, and it was 63% to 38%,
Wow.
with 110 votes for Elk Stripes and 66 for Upward. I think it's important to note that we had a total of 424 votes, when I think there were only 6 with the paper ballot, but 424 includes those paper ballot votes, which, if we count about 3,800 with the population, that's 11% of the population voting. Because we did have a lot of children vote as well, not just adults. So 11% of the vote, but a lot of other cities, they're getting thousands of votes, but it's like 5% of their population. So we got 11% of our population and a 63 to 38 split on the vote. So Elk Stripes obviously was favored. Are there any questions?
Could we use Upward in the winter, when it's the winter season?
There were comments about that one, that people thought that one looked like Christmas time or winter time.
So Christmas flag.
I would suggest that maybe if there's a city slogan or motto, that Upward could be used for that. A one-word motto might look good near the Oak Ridge City sign at the Parkway, but that would be for another day. So what I have given you is the specifications there. What it does is it specifies the color of blue with the Pantone number and the RGB number for the green and the blue. White and black is always the same. It also gives the ratio of the flag, which is 2 to 3. The upper stripe and the lower stripe are smaller than the middle stripe, which adds some distinctiveness to it. There's also a representation of that below in the symbolism. So the symbolism is explained down below, so that to establish a connection to the community. And I also like to point out with the colors that mentioning the colors, it's designed to say where we are too. With Great View blue, I didn't bring this up, but I could. But with Great View blue and Loafer Mountain green, we have our view, great view from up against the mountain and our nearness to Loafer Mountain. And also there, the strong elk, the stripes. We have the 2 stripes, upper, middle, and lower sections of Elk Ridge, and the middle is larger, but the important thing to mention here is that the strong elk image that a lot of people preferred, or I think was the reason why it was so preferred, 63%. The strong elk in all 3 stripes represents who we are, what we are, as in the expression, show your stripes. And that potentially could be used on shirts, I think, show your stripes with the image. Just a suggestion for the city celebration. And in conclusion, I think it's important to bring up the resolution. The resolution, I know, is supposed to be the front page, and this is the attachment to the resolution. And I wanted to read through that so you know what the specific items are in the resolution. and you can read along there with me. Resolution of the City Council of Elkridge City, Utah, adopting an official municipal flag of Elkridge City. Whereas there is no record of a city flag ever being designed or adopted for Elkridge City, and whereas a city flag is intended to generate excitement and participation from its residents, and encourage ownership, allegiance, spirit, and pride in the heritage of the city, as well as the current citizenry and modern movement of the city. And whereas the City Council desired the promotion of a flag designed to represent Elkridge and its residents for the benefit and unity of its residents to be used in advancing the image and interests of the city, and for designated city activities and city departments, as in like a city patch that Linda Jones, I think, will encourage. And whereas a city flag also serves an important governmental function of reflecting city leadership and can be used for a variety of municipal purposes, now therefore be it resolved, resolved by Elkridge City, that Elkridge City officially adopts a city flag as described in Attachment A, attached to this resolution and incorporated or contained herein. That the mayor, city representatives, and their designees are authorized to use the city flag in conjunction with official city purposes and events, and to offer it in the public domain, because we want people to be able to make merchandise using the design. And the mayor may issue policies and directives to city staff regarding the flying of and the care of the city flag and other appropriate uses of the same. That the city purposes and events may include a city flag day, which could be the same day that this resolution is passed, approved, and adopted, May 9th, 2017. That the residents of Elkridge may also fly the city flag properly at their homes to show unity and pride. And that the mayor be authorized to procure city flags of appropriate quality and in appropriate sizes as are designed for use on city flagpoles, to sell such city flags to the public, to make all necessary purchases and budget transfers in conjunction with its authorization, and to accept donations toward flag purchases or of flags themselves. So that's just to make sure that you know what is included in the resolution and what will be, what you're looking at and voting on later on tonight. So that concludes my presentation of the flag contest and the results. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Well done.
Any-
Well done.
I
Any
have a couple
questions?
questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
This kind of relates to sort of the flag. Well, okay. Are you going to order the flag, or do you want me to order it?
Well, I was talking to Colonial Flag today, and they've already given me a, what do you call it, a
Quote or price?
quote, price. They've sent it to me, and I can show that to you. I can show you that. So I have thought about how many flags we're talking about, the size of the flag for the big city flagpole, one or two for the big city flagpole, one for the council chamber, to match these with the what do you call it? Stuff on the outside. Fringe, with the fringe on the outside, and a new Utah flag with the white shield.
Correct.
And like I said here, to accept donations toward flag purchases or flags themselves, which may happen as a part of this, it's been obtained. That information has been obtained. The quote, and I can share that with you.
Okay. Is that coming all out of the city celebration budget? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the other thing is, when do you want the unveiling to happen? Do we want to do it like at the mayor's dinner on Friday night?
I thought
or-
that's when it was going to happen, and I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it would be the main flagpole.
Right out here.
I'm trying to remember when the parade happens. And the mayor's dinner is right
The
after.
parade's at 6 and the mayor's
Right
dinner's
after
at
the
7.
parade.
Falls, yeah.
Okay, and so they bring the flag down, and then they bring it up the pole, and I guess they would bring up the pole then, or they would bring the U.S. flag and the city flag up at the same time.
I just wanted
Yeah,
to say
That's.
put it on the flyer.
I think that was mentioned as a possibility that. It would
Well,
be
I
part
didn't know
of
if we
the
were going to do it
agenda.
or Saturday morning. After the fun, before the fun, what did didn't they do?
I think you're
Yeah,
better off
that's
doing
what-
it at the.
More people will be
That's
there
true.
Friday
You
night.
got
Yeah.
young people after the parade,
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
comes over here.
everybody comes
so-
over here.
Yeah,
Before they go.
Uh,
that's true. When
Maybe
I,
Jimmy John's.
when I was involved in doing it one time, I think it was Saturday morning, but
You don't
I
get
think
nearly
doing-
the numbers out.
yeah, I think doing it as a part of the, after the parade, before the mayor's dinner would be the cool time to do it.
I do too. Yeah. That'd be my hope. Well, you've done an excellent job.
Yeah.
You put a lot of
It's great.
energy into this, and you've made it happen, so.
I know,
I
pretty
appreciate
much
that.
alone made it happen.
It's been exciting and fun to do, and there has been a lot of help, and so I appreciate the help, especially when it comes to the website. It really would have been hard to make that happen without the website, so.
That's great.
Appreciate your work on that, this is awesome.
Okay, perfect.
You're welcome.
Anybody have any comment on the resolution itself?
No,
Okay, let's move on. All right, we have tonight a guest with us, Roy Gerber, Zach.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged, and he's gonna give a short presentation on the Wounded Warrior, if I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
No, it's
No.
not, but thanks for trying.
Okay.
Wounded Warrior is a specific charity, so that doesn't sound right.
Okay,
Okay, I've got two purposes for being here tonight. First is to make sure that you know, as a city council and as a body administrating the city, the critical problem that we have with our veterans. 22 per day are still committing suicide. Now, a recent study was completed, and in this study, a recent study found that 147,763 suicides in 21 states in the past 13 years, which is 22 per day. Now, the reason for the high numbers, we could talk about that. PTSD, separation anxiety, and you know, that's probably a reality. Now, I was in the Marine Corps Reserve from 1963 until 1971, but I was also on LAPD for 18 and a half years until they pensioned me because they put in a pacemaker. And so I understand separation anxiety. If you've been a cop for 18 and a half years, you're packing all the time, you know, it can be, you know, I had planned on being there a long time. And so when they pulled it, when the city brought me in and pulled the pin and asked me to retire, give me 60% of my base wage tax-free, what could I say? It was either that or work a desk because I couldn't carry a gun because I had a pacemaker. So, but the reason I'm saying that is I understand, you know, the trauma involved in separation from a team, a group with a purpose, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those things figure in this problem. That's the first thing I wanted to make sure that you understood. The second thing I would like to do is invite the city to participate in some kind of way to address the problem. Now, I know, having lived here since 2010, that this community supports our servicemen, especially back in 2013 when we lost Cody Taos. That's another reason why I think it's important for us to carry forward on some kind of effort to address this particular problem as a city, as a group, as a community. That's what I'm hoping for. So the question is, what could the city do? Now, I also want to tell you that I wrote a letter to the state presidency and asked them for their support. And they said, hey, it's a great idea, we support you, but we think you should work through the city. And I also told them that I was going to work with surrounding cities. I'm going to invite Salem and Payson and Spanish Fork and the city, you know, the surrounding areas to be involved in this. There's only, now, the financial arm of this is Carry the Fallen. Now, let me pass out to you. This is what I'm suggesting we could do. This is it's a 501c3. It's in Louisville, Kentucky, and what they're doing is they're building facilities to support and care for veterans and their families. Veterans and their families. And so the actual arm for raising funds is Carry the Fallen. Now Catherine and I, my dear wife, Catherine and I were involved in a Carry the Fallen program just last Saturday. That's why I'm wearing the shirt, okay? The shirt. This is what, there was 62 people up in Ogden for the Carry the Fallen activity last Saturday morning. In fact, you can see here's an ROTC group from Ogden. There was a big scouting group from Pleasant Grove. And I understand, I'm not sure, but I understand, I was told that at Salem High, there's an ROTC, is that correct? Or does anybody know?
There is.
Okay, so it would be appropriate then, if we had something going here, to invite those kinds of activity, those kinds of groups, to be a part of this. Now, a Carry the Fallen is basically, you put on a backpack with weight on it, and you walk for 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, or 22 hours. We only walked for not quite 3 hours. But that was fine. And the purpose is to bring to your own mind the burdens that these people carry. Okay, and that's why you put weight on and walk with the weight. Does that make sense? So we walked, and we went to the botanical gardens up in Ogden, and we walked along the river and stayed pretty much in that area for 3 hours, for a 3-hour walk. And what we did was everyone that wanted to participate and make donations sent in money in advance. And that's when you get the shirt and other items sent to you, because with your registration there's a cost, there's an amount. You can either pay a specific amount to register. I registered for $75. Catherine registered for $50. We both got shirts and everything else. But anyway, not everybody registered, but the point is many people did. And so that's what the purpose of Carry the Fallen is. To bring attention to the fact that there's a problem and to raise money for action heroes. Active heroes. Are there any questions? Now, I don't know exactly how this would, what particular activities we could have. We could involve some activity in the city parade, for example. We could have a group there. We could. I'm sure that there's somebody in this town that loves to golf. It's not me. Anyway, I'm sure there's somebody that likes to golf. We could have a golf tournament to raise money. And I really do think that it would be very appropriate. In fact, Catherine and I spent some time today trying to reach the Tauses to ask them if they would be, if there would be a problem if we did it in his honor. I'm sure there wouldn't be, but anyway, we wanted to let them know that I was going to give this presentation and suggest that whatever program we came forward with should be done in CODI's honor. Anyway, that's my presentation. I hope that there'll be some city backing for this concept. I certainly think it's worthy of our time and effort. And of course, by making this suggestion, I'm not suggesting that you guys take over and take care of it. Obviously, I'm going to be involved in it.
So are you starting a team?
Yes.
Here, is that?
Yes.
So,
There's no, in fact, if you look at here, there's only one team in Utah, and that's the one up in Ogden.
in Ogden.
So I've asked them to allow me to be the team leader for Utah County. And so I'll be working here and Provo and Orem and,
Yeah,
anyway.
very good.
So I guess all I need to know is whether or not you think it's worthy and whether or not you think it's worth the city's backing.
Dale?
I think it's a worthy cause there. I think it's like a lot of the things, though, you're better off having somebody like yourself, a citizen group, and then I think we would be supportive, and I like the idea of having the team represented in the parade, things like that. I think it's more effective if it comes with somebody in the community.
Oh, sure,
kind of
yeah.
pushing.
Right, it's not as if you folks don't have anything to do, right?
But, yeah, I would be supportive. I'm a veteran myself, and I'm in that American Legion, and we do a lot of.
I have a hunch that if we had the team or offered that opportunity in the parade, you may get a fair amount of participation in the parade from individuals that normally wouldn't participate in the parade.
Mhm.
That's right?
I'm certain of that.
Yeah. So,
And I would have to have someone inside the city that would work with me, just with suggestions as to how we can let people know, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Well, we could put it in the newsletter.
That's true.
Or the little flyer that goes out in conjunction with the city celebration. If you got me the information of what you wanted, then we could,
When is that?
I can put that in the
How
flyer.
early does that go out? Not quite
I have
early.
to have it done by, is it May 22nd that she told me? I wrote it down. May 25th. So if you give me the information just a couple days before that, then I can put it on the flyer.
Okay,
We'll go
so
out.
if we were going to focus, for example, on a group in the parade, you wouldn't want me to write down exactly?
Yeah, and then I could say, if you would like to participate in this, you know what
Okay.
I mean?
Sure.
Meet here at this time or whatever.
And maybe you would be the contact point, you know.
Yeah.
People had questions. they
Because
called.
More information,
Right.
email you or whatever, or, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or if you wanted to do like a golf tournament or something, then we could put that in there, you know, and how to sign up and where or whatever.
well, and what I could do is, once I have your support, I could go back to, because President Spencer told me to keep him posted. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the state presidency and tell them that, and I think there's some golfers in that area, isn't there?
Yeah.
A few of them, yeah.
Exactly. So maybe we could do that also.
Mhm.
And if there's anybody else that has an idea as to what we could do, that would be appropriate also.
Well, and you could do a tent for free at the celebration if people wanted to come and learn more about the organization or donate or whatever, you know, do a
Mhm.
pop-up tent and have a table and chair, whatever.
That's a good
Have
idea.
You
you
could do
talked
that
to
too.
That's a good
the
idea.
veterans home down here, maybe some of them?
I'm sorry?
The veterans home down here, maybe some of them would like to come and be in the parade with
Uh-huh.
it.
I've been to the veterans home very recently, and I'll do that.
There may be a few Elkridge residents who would really like to be able to
Mhm.
come and participate.
Yeah, I think
That would be physically able to do that.
we had a number of veterans. At one point, I did a flag ceremony with just,
Veterans.
with veterans,
I remember that.
and there was a number of veterans in Elkridge. And,
And we might even consider doing a ruck march, like the fun run,
Mhm.
and just have people put on a pack. It doesn't have to be a ruck,
Sure.
In the military, they give you a specialized pack, but all you do is bring a backpack. And what we did is we put food in it, and then at the end of the march, we took out the food and left it for a food bank for the veterans.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, from my perspective, I think that we ought to incorporate that in. I think that would really please a number of people.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a booth there, you know.
Okay, so I'll do that.
I'll put you down. I'll put it down that you're gonna do it. If you're not, let me know.
Put me down.
Okay, I'll put you down. I'll just give you a spot.
Okay. And what's the date of the celebration?
25th. It'll be
25th.
Saturday, the 25th
June.
in
June.
of June. And you'll need to be there, probably, people start coming down around 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 until 2.
Okay,
So,
okay.
So the parade's the day before, and then we have the,
and then it will be the next day.
20
So the parade is on
24th.
It's not the 20,
Well, 24th, Saturday, the 24th of June.
oh, it's 24th, okay. sorry.
23rd.
It was last year, maybe it was.
so 23rd is
The parade's on
the
Friday.
parade.
Yeah,
All right.
23rd is the parade, and the
24th
24th.
would be the booth.
okay,
Okay.
23rd, 24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year was 24th.
Last full weekend
I
of June.
got this.
Yeah.
Okay, great, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's talk about Elk Ridge Drive trail lights. So I got a call from Royce one day. We got the new update.
Newer update.
Okay.
Is that, and then the one you saw?
Is this different than
I
what
looked
you
at
emailed
the
me?
chair back.
This is different.
Nice.
And we're what if, this is the what if, this is looking at the trail lights. Called me and said, well, how do you feel about trail lights? And I'm like, well, frankly, I don't like lights.
I love lights.
And maybe we could look at potentially pulling that out of the trail going down Elk Ridge Drive, and not have the lights, and use those funds for another purpose in the
Oh,
city.
yeah, look at the big difference.
So we have them look at the cost of what it is to put those lights in, and it's the $46,000. So Dean would basically say that he would write us a check for the $46,000 in lieu of the lighting, and then we could take that money and potentially pave the parking lot around the city, the public work building, or another purpose within the city.
I'm thinking of parking lot at the Lower Park.
And we could also address it.
Because we're
Yeah,
taking
that's money, park money, park money.
So Dean
Benefit
has-
residents and say, we're
Yeah,
not just taking it here and we're gonna go put a parking lot in for the public.
that's correct.
We're gonna take care of you, okay, don't worry about that.
So does he have to
That's
pick the
correct.
lights?
Well, what that does is
Yeah,
that'll
I mean, it
potentially
does.
free up funds. for-
Right, but then that way we're taking money that could be spent to
Fair enough.
provide
That was
something
for-
for the
Fair enough.
the residents.
For a trail
You
system
keep it in the park
on there,
system.
and it keeps in the park system, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let's look at that, let's bring it to you guys, let's talk about it, see how you feel about that. My personal feeling is that there's not a real need there for the lights down there.
There may be,
There's not a safety need because it's,
there may be
There's
something
traffic.
for solar light, some solar lighting down there that's not a real expensive, item.
now down at the bottom, we're still gonna light the flag and the sign, I
Yeah.
guess, that would be down there, right? So we're not talking about that, but
Yeah, that's a little bit different. but
it's those pole lights that
Yeah.
go along the
When I
trail.
saw this initially, I thought we were gonna go electrify all the light poles that are down along our.
No, no,
So
no,
right,
no,
that's what I
no,
thought it was
no,
for.
no,
I was
no,
going,
Nelson.
oh,
Nelson, you
no.
need to run for mayor if you want.
no, I don't.
Wait, so this-
I was
this would
thinking
be
we could
going
recycle those.
Up the trail, this would be
Some of
going
the
up,
pacing.
the new trail?
The new
that's-
trail.
And he has to light it, we would be making him light it?
Yeah.
That's in the,
It's
that's
in-
part
it's
of
in-
the
it's in-
contract.
That's why there's lights down on the other, because they were required to, but then when they went to turn them on, they couldn't because the wire was gone.
Most of them are.
Okay, that makes sense.
So,
What kind of lights they putting in, LEDs or those sodium ones? The LEDs last 20 years, sodium.
well, they're
They're
a
not
lot,
doing it
the
at all.
LED ones are a lot more.
We just go with the higher one, so that's what we get.
I'll bet you that's what the higher.
And if Dean pulls a Brittany on us, he'll have 3 or 4 quotes.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, it isn't a bad idea, you know, to see what was quoted, what was, in the plan.
Yeah.
And then, and if it's just getting one figure, you know, I feel like the park offset, we didn't get a fair figure. We should have had 3 bids on it.
But I like the use, that's a great idea to use this for down there where we need those.
Yeah.
Parking lot.
So we have 2 different numbers.
Yeah,
We've got
I
the
think
new one that was just handed out and one that was emailed to
Yeah.
us.
There was a correction there.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
How
Oh,
does
you got one?
this, how does this work with our dark sky compliance?
Well, again, going back to what's
right there.
South in town?
Yeah.
6 versus 9 fixtures.
Okay.
Oh, that's why, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, there's 9 fixtures in there.
So we wanna light the trail and we'll play something down for safety?
Yeah, for safety.
So,
No, we're not lighting anything, we're gonna build a parking lot with this money.
dark sky,
I think that's a great idea,
is that okay?
yeah, I think it's great. If we don't have any of the other trail lit up, why would we?
Why would we light up one little section?
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Well, and you think about it, you know,
People would
there's
rather have a
there,
parking lot than lights, I think. I Bill, maybe.
Then one off.
all right, so there is action on this, we'll take action. Change that. And-
Yep.
And take funds in lieu of the lighting, right? I think it'd be awesome. All right, next item. The Public Works mower. We got a bid as requested on an 11-foot
There were 2 bids, right?
width, so now we have 2 bids, right? On the 11-foot, I guess it's the difference between Jacobson and the John Deere on the 11-foot, and we still have the 14-foot bid for the Jacobson. And we've had a fair amount of discussion on this. 14, 11, and McKay and I have talked, and we've looked at the pros and cons, and I'm just going to give McKay just a minute to just express his opinion and something I want to cover, something that I was thinking about, and then you'll know how we feel, and we'll move on it tonight one way or another.
Okay.
We need to do that. So McKay.
So, you have a few differences between the 2 mowers, obviously, with brand differences, but a few things that were really stuck out. The Jacobson is a 65 horsepower motor. The John Deere is a 58 horsepower motor. The overall cutting radius of the John Deere is
McKay,
4
that's only
inches.
11 foot, right?
11 foot, yes. The overall cutting difference between the 2, the Jacobson is 4 inches wider. The Jacobson has a cutting rate of 14 acres an hour, and the John Deere has a cutting rate of 10 at the same speed. Just the difference between the 2 engines, horsepower versus horsepower here. The main thing that I noticed, and this is why I lean towards the Jacobson, the John Deere mower is still using a V-belt system to drive the blades. The Jacobson is using a hydraulic system, a closed loop hydraulic system. So each blade has its own hydraulic pump that's all tied in together. So we don't have any maintenance. In fact, the last 2 weeks we've been battling blades on the 2, belts and different things on the 2 mowers that we currently have now. That system is pretty rough to maintain. You're always stretching belts, breaking belts. In fact, the spindle went out on one of them this last week. So there's a lot of maintenance with the V-belt system.
So the Jacobson has no belts.
Jacobson has no
Yeah,
belts.
mower.
Yep, it's all
That's cool.
ran off a hydraulic system. As far as like lifting one wing, I don't see any evidence that supports either one being better. It doesn't say that either one will run the other 2 decks. I'm assuming that they do, where they don't call out that it doesn't. But I do need to verify that information. But I'm pretty sure you can still run through the hydraulic system with the Jacobson, the middle deck and one of the side decks. Both are 4-wheel drive, both are a hydrostatic transmission. The Jacobson is running a Kubota engine, which for small engines is a great engine. We have the mower we have now is a Kubota, runs great. We've had no issues with the engine itself. The John Deere doesn't call out specifically a manufacturer. I'm going to assume it's a John Deere diesel engine. It is a diesel engine, the same. One thing with the John Deere is it's probably going to be a little easier to get parts, as we do have a John Deere dealership. We have one in Nephi and one in Springville. We also have a Kubota dealer in Springville, but the Jacobson dealer is in Salt Lake. So if we need Kubota parts,
Spanish Fork has that dealer, the Kubota dealer.
Yeah, yep. There's one in Spanish Fork and Springville, Bonneville and Johnson.
Still, Salt Lake's not that big of
Yeah.
a deal if you need to get.
Typically, you can get parts sent down, overnighted, that kind of stuff, real easy.
Not an issue.
Worst case, go pick it
No,
up.
I'll stop by on the way home from work.
Yeah, so
What's the warranty on each one?
ooh,
John Deere has a 2-year warranty.
I think they're, I don't know, James.
Yeah, the reputation, I think, when you look at golf courses or large mowing areas, the Jacobson is a lot more preferred. And it has a lot better reputation. The one
Not
John
that
Deere,
I've seen.
well, not John Deere that I
Hey, you
had,
drive buses, not.
was not a,
It's
was not a
You
good.
drive a bus, not a.
I think Jacobson for golf courses and parks, that's a de facto standard.
Yeah.
yeah, it's an industry-wide kind of deal. I mean, everything that I'm familiar with is a Jacobson Provo. That's all Provo uses. Most cities, that's
How do you feel, where are you at between the 11 and 14?
I think we can get by fine with the 11. 14 would be a little nicer for in the future, plan ahead. I think we use, you know, if we ended up developing or landscaping the wildflower area, the kind of the walking trail area down below. If we get many more parks, 14 would be nice. 14 is going to get into some tight spots and be hard to maneuver. Typically we use our seasonal employees to mow. I get a little nervous with having that wide of a mowing deck that they could run into personal property, fences and different things, have a little issue with judgment and stuff.
I think that's smaller.
It's a toss-up,
It's
because
a-
the 11 is actually more of a, it's not as common. It's not as common, so.
Is that right?
The
yeah,
14 is readily
Far
available.
more common, I guess. In fact, they would say, well, what, you know.
They did ask why we wanted
So is
to
there a
go that
resale
way.
value? I'm wondering if there's a resale value difference that matters, but I'm kind of inclined not to believe so.
Yeah,
Because we'll probably use it up pretty good by the time we're
Yeah, I
done
think
with it.
so.
Yeah, how long are these supposed to last, 10 years, is that what you guys said last time?
I would hope that
I
we
would
get
hope
eight
that we get 8 to 10 out of it at least, yeah.
Because by then we might be ready for a 14.
Yeah.
I think,
Well, you could see also, you'd have some experience on it.
Yeah.
You know, with that one thing with a smaller deck, you know, you got your torque, you got each one of those driven, you will have, the wider the blade, the more chance.
How many acres an hour?
of having a-
The Jacobson claims 14 at 10 miles an hour,
I know it says 10.
That's gonna be so sweet.
so.
So
and
hydraulic hoses blow, so you're gonna have that problem as
You
well
will.
if you would have with the V-belts, so.
Yeah, that hydraulic.
You will have a hydraulic issue, you know,
Yeah.
This guy likes
I
John Deere.
wouldn't.
it's a lot less common. You don't have nearly as much wear movement on a hydraulic hose as you do with, you have high pressure.
And they blow.
So McKay, which one are you recommending?
I would recommend,
The Jacob.
The 11-foot Jacobson?
I would recommend the 11-foot Jacobson.
Okay. Any other
The
questions?
Jacobson also has a
No, I
2-year
was just-
warranty.
Just gonna say, my client that I had give us the bid last year, so we'd have a reference point on the parts.
Mhm.
He just bought a new one, and guess what he bought? He bought the Jacobson. I mean, this is the guy that does this full time, all the
Yeah.
time. That's what he bought.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Jacobson
what
has
he's on his living for.
kind of an industry standard, yeah.
We're not, it's a fact.
The Jacobson also has a 2-year warranty, 2,000 hours. So,
All right, any other questions for him before we move on to the next subject? All right, let's go on to the next subject.
Wait, were you gonna share with us which one you wanted?
No, I don't need to. Let's go.
I thought you said you were.
No, I think I'm perfectly happy.
Price difference is what, $2,000 for the
Six.
John Deere? and
$6 grand.
6,
Yeah.
50 versus 56 something.
10 acres versus 14.
And then of
Well,
course
we've
the
got
14
14
is,
acres on the
14
farm.
was what, 80 some, 78 I think it was.
yeah, 79.8, something like that. Just right under 80.
Let's talk about number 5, tentative budget.
Again,
I know.
We have no
I thought we were
change,
done with this.
then we can just go on. What we'll need to do tonight, what we want to do tonight
Right,
is
no.
just to set a date for the public hearing
Yeah.
to be June 13th, correct? And
June
if- so at that point, I mean, we'll have the public hearing and then the council, I mean, it's your budget, right?
Right.
It really is your budget. As far as I'm concerned, we're done.
If we're raising taxes, I'm out of town.
We're good. No,
I just have one question, because I just remember when we went through this earlier on in the year, there was some money that was going to be put into the fire department for the SCBA's,
Mhm.
yeah,
and I looked through this thing frontwards and backwards, and I couldn't find it.
there's a transfer.
It's a transfer or something, I was looking all over for it, and I couldn't find it, so I highlighted it here, so I,
No, it's,
to
Nelson wants his
remind
money.
me.
Give
No,
Nelson his money.
I just wanna make sure,
no, we.
because I'm getting older and slower, and that lighter pack will make a world of difference. I won't be sweating nearly as hard when I come out and going in and checking the seal.
We have sprinkler systems.
Page
You'll be
6.
Page 6.
All right, 90943.
Oh, yeah, right, 30 grand.
Okay. That
fine. Oh, yeah.
answers it. I'm just gonna
The other
do the
thing-
presentation here, and we're good.
That's our second installment, right, 30 grand?
There you go.
Yep.
The other thing I would like to see us add into this, that we had it originally, and then I was saying, we don't really have a place for the tree grant. But I'd like to see us put in the 7,500 for tree grant. And that area that we just got from Dean, you know, we're gonna need to do something with that. I would like to apply for that grant, have Stacy do the paperwork on it and go a lot faster, a lot better this
Is it a
year.
matching grant, or,
Yeah, it's a matching grant.
and we
But-
have to put
but-
75 in? 75?
Well, actually, we have gotten almost that, 75 is the full amount that we could get back.
Yeah.
But we match with labor and with equipment and with, we have basically matched that, mainly with labor. We do have to, buying the trees, but we're getting that 7,500 back. And we've gotten that twice, we did the lower part, one of the years, we were just replacing trees. And then the last year that we did it, we had like 52 trees that we did all through the new part and the walkway there. And I would be willing to follow that through in the spring, even though I don't intend to be in charge
When you run
of it
again.
on the council.
But,
Yeah, running away is
But I would like to look at putting that in. I'd
The-
like to.
Okay, we could certainly, I don't know where it comes from,
I
but,
would say, we just go ahead and run with it, and if he gets it, then we can make it work.
and we
And
certainly
then we'll
can,
amend the budget.
we can certainly do
Yeah.
that.
Well, I
Probably,
suspect-
actually, probably better way.
We
'cause
always have something.
We're gonna have
we plan on
leftover
doing.
funds,
Yeah, we always.
we know we will.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only thing that I want to make sure that everybody recalls is that, we projected the 370K from the property tax.
Mhm.
Royce will get the final number from the state early June, we suspect, in time for the June 13th meeting,
Okay,
right? So that number is going to be adjusted,
okay.
up or down or whatever it is, just based on what the state tells us.
And if we,
Just the way it
for
is.
the public's benefit, this is the problem with the way the system works. We don't know what the number is until after we've already missed the deadline to decide if we need to have a truth in taxation hearing in the first place. Thank you, state legislature.
It's crazy stuff.
So, it's
So-
not because
so the date
we're
was
asleep at
set.
the wheel, we just frankly don't have the way of knowing until it's too late. So we
So
have
the
to,
date we're looking at is,
Will be June 13th. That's the first council meeting in June. And we'll set the public hearing for that.
so if by some
Approve the
chance
budget.
we get that number and it comes in really low and blows this thing apart for some
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to scheduling a special meeting so we can adjust
Yeah,
if we have to before
for
that.
sure.
well, I think that,
I don't anticipate that, but if it does, I think it'd be
so
wise.
we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I hope it's,
Hopefully we don't.
I hope
have
it's
to
really
cross
close.
that. Yes,
I
okay.
hope it's really
Royce is dead on.
close. So, okay. Planning Commission meetings from June to December. I think we've ran the
I'm doing this month.
Have we
the
done?
5 people. You're doing this month.
I'm doing May.
So we need to re-up June through December.
Was there one?
I can do either November or
Was there one
December.
last Thursday?
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
Yeah,
Maybe
this
this
Thursday. Someone said there was one last Thursday.
No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Because
because
that's
I was
what-
like,
yeah.
I missed it, so I got out of dance competition, I was the only one. Okay,
So,
don't laugh at that.
So Nelson, just November, December.
Yeah.
I can do June.
Because we'll be making a
So we
transition.
got-
Start over again.
So we got June,
July.
Bloomingdale,
I'll do July, that'll be best for me.
I can't do July or August.
So how about September?
That's good.
That's my birthday month. Just want to write.
Like a
Okay.
18.
I turn 40.
I heard 40.
I turn
I'm trying to think August.
I turn 40 in
Right?
September,
I should pro- August is hard.
but I look 20.
I can take it.
Well, that's why I took November and December, because I realized they're probably only gonna have one meeting in each month.
Yeah.
And I
Which one?
suspect July is probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's why I took November and December.
Holla, July.
Okay, so what do we have, Royce?
We got Dale for June, Tricia for July, August will open, Paul for September, Nelson for November and December.
You're doing
So
2
we got
months.
October and August we
One
still
meeting
need.
in both.
What's that?
We need August and October.
One meeting? Oh,
No,
No.
we need
We
somebody.
need someone for
Okay.
August and,
let's find out what Brittany can do.
I can't do October, but I could maybe do August.
No, you don't need to. You've already taken July.
Well,
And then we'll find out Brittany, what she can do, and then I can certainly take the other, I'm sure. We'll see. I gotta ask the boss.
the boss is
I don't
here.
know, Kenny?
I don't want to stay on it.
That was good, that was good material.
Dale, we've got 2 minutes. Do you want to push yours till after? It's gonna be a short council meeting, so
Okay.
yeah,
your discussion till after.
let's do it so we can allow adequate time.
Okay, so we will pick up line number 7 after our regular council meeting, so we've got 2-3 minutes for a Bible break.
Okay. Well done.
Mr. Dale,
Yeah.
let's talk about the apron discussion on those roundabouts.
Okay. Actually, I think that,
Thank you for coming, everybody.
yeah, appreciate it.
Great.
I think that, that it's obvious when you look at the traffic pattern, there now, that is a pretty tight, approach on the north, the southbound lane. And I think that.
Coming out of it or going into it, or both?
Going out of it. You know, you're kind of forced into it with the trail. The trail actually is coming straight in on this right-hand side. You've got an apron actually on both sides. They're already on the north side of it. But you come around that, and cars, I think, make it fine. But we have a lot of construction trucks and a lot of tractor trailer rigs, and even the bus probably, and buses going through there. And I dropped off that.
There's no apron, it's just mud.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, it's just mud. We've got mud there, and actually, if we put in an apron where it makes the jog now, it's straight, and then it kind of comes in to kind of force that 15-foot, roundabout lane. If we just completed that on the right-hand side, and I think we ought to do it when we're pouring the center dividers, those center divider strips, But it is, when I was talking to Springville City, when we were originally looking at whether to have the roundabout or not, is that actually the roundabout is not intended to be a speed restriction. It's intended to be a traffic flow, a positive traffic flow formation.
Sure.
And this one, that is the tighter you have it. I think theirs was quite a bit wider, You know, Shay was saying 15 feet is the basic, that they say if you're going to restrict. If you get too wide, then people are going straight through. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think that needs an apron. It's on our side. I think personally that it ought to be part of the design of the roundabout that's being split with Dean and Salisbury. But if not, then
Who would be typically responsible for that?
I think at this point.
That's city property
That's
on the one
city.
side.
Yeah, so.
That's us.
Yeah.
It's 100% our,
That's
it'll be
us.
our cost.
it really, you know, we're gonna have to prep it, when you're doing the trail or something possibly, there needs base, needs probably what, 6 inch of road base?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
6
And this is
Suggest at least an
I
8
just have to
inch.
drive, I don't drive the roundabout very much, so to me, I'm like, oh, it's great.
So
I
on
go
the,
up- I
on
go
the
up
south
once
side where you got the
every
2
2
mud pits on either
Know
side,
where that is?
Yeah,
Coming up the hill, and you go
Uh-huh.
around, and you go kind of through and back up Elkers Drive
Yeah.
again. But when you come back out of that, there's a lot of traffic that's just going right over the outside.
Over the edge of
edge
the curb and into the-
curb and through the mud.
back up.
oh, I have seen that, I have seen
So,
where people have been doing
I
that.
think on the side that Lee Haskell's working
Yeah,
on,
that we.
that will probably take
That's not
care of
nearly
it.
as filled
That one,
concerning.
even if we just took and filled it in a little bit just to preserve it, because he's gonna be doing some stuff there, let him pay for it. On the city side, I think we need to at least do something there.
Do something on that apron. Just be looking at probably 4 feet. 4 feet and what, 8 feet long? It's a
No,
short.
it'd be longer than that.
It's gonna be longer than
Dinner
that.
room.
Yeah.
I'd have to get a wheel out and count it off.
Well, I would be curious, just because we've got the other pieces that Dell mentioned, where they're gonna come pour the concrete, because it's too narrow, really. There's not a lot of concrete there, and there's kind of like a minimum amount that they have to bring out in a truck.
Right,
So maybe
yeah.
we could just get it in, and then it wouldn't cost much, and maybe just deal with it at that point. I mean, that's just me
That'd be my suggestion.
throwing an idea out there,
Yeah,
see if
they-
it sticks, but.
Are those people, this is another random question, because when I came out of the roundabout and I was going on Goose Nest towards the mountains, is that east?
Yeah.
There's
Well,
that
there's
big
mountains in
Suburban right there. I'm like, what is this thing doing? Is that legal to park right outside the roundabout?
Until we paint it red.
Until we paint it red.
Have
30
you noticed
feet.
that?
Yeah, we're gonna put do not
Brought that
park.
up before?
Yeah, we need to get
We need our signage up.
Because I didn't
count
hit
off,
it, but I
decide
thought,
what we
gosh,
wanna
if you
do.
weren't paying a lot of attention, you could have hit that Suburban parked right there, right as you come out of the roundabout, it's right there.
Yeah, it was there Sunday.
Yeah, oh, it's there
When
like
I was
nonstop.
flying
I
out headed to
haven't
the
seen it.
fire.
You haven't? It's a
Have
big-
you ordered those signs yet by any chance? Have we got the signs or anything that we were gonna put out?
We've got the poles and bases and everything, but not the signs. It should just be calling up and getting them.
Let's do that.
So,
Let's get
okay.
that signage up.
Yeah.
So we were kind of waiting to see if there
We
was an
need it on
issue.
all of the.
All 4
All
sides.
4 sides
Can
coming
we
out.
do all 4? You want to just do the 2 going
Well, I
east
would
and
just do
west?
Well,
the
Yeah, you don't
three.
need all 4.
Well, I would do all 3. I don't
3
know, I'd worry
sides.
about the city's
3
corner, because like,
That's true.
nobody
Nobody's
parks
gonna
there.
park there.
Nobody's
What
gonna
would
park
be your
there.
third?
So
Going
it's really
north,
only
down,
two.
down the hill?
It's really only 2.
So you've got.
Yeah,
well,
if
you've
it
got-
was meters
yeah.
east and west side.
It's
it should be-
basically, it's
just
it's on the
Goose
north
Nest.
side of Goose Nest. I mean,
Goose Nest.
the only reason I would say maybe do it on the south side, but we could probably just have that be taken care of when Lee does develop that corner as part of that process. Have him put those in.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, I really think we're gonna have people that are gonna park on the road instead of going into the parking lot,
Yeah.
potentially, because it's easier. But,
Well, let's look at it and get the
Yeah.
signs up. We talked.
Okay, and then we talked about the requirement is 30 feet from the old sign.
Yeah,
We talked about going 50,
right.
and then I never really followed up with you. Do we still want to go 50?
Yeah, I would. 30's awfully tight.
Yeah.
That's only a car and a half length.
yeah,
You know, a truck, you know,
yeah, that's
full-size
what my
car.
garage.
Right, it's not very darn far to come out of that roundabout
Yeah, no.
before you've got something parked. I think you need 50 feet.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
I'll count it all
Which is
tomorrow
basically,
and see if even 50 feet
yeah.
is going to do it. We may,
That's not, that even isn't very
I was
far.
going to say, we could even go, we'll count it off and see where 50 feet is, and if we need to go 60
I
or
mean,
80.
that's not even the frontage of one lot,
We just,
half of
Ooh,
it.
yeah, we need to
Yeah.
go.
100 feet's a frontage of a lot.
That's not very far when you're coming out of the
So-
roundabout.
well,
So,
We-
just,
What do other cities have roundabouts typically? I mean, I'm trying to reference the only
Well,
place
then,
that
no,
I
you
know.
can't even park right.
Well, there really isn't, there's no reason
There's
to.
no way to.
So I was
park.
thinking about the one over by UVU that's kind of
The
up on the
double
top.
roundabout?
No, the one that's
Top.
kind of
Oh,
behind
that's
Hobby
the
Lobby.
top one.
The one at the top, because I know the guy that owns the corner house, and you can't even park in front of him. on the
No,
road.
you can't.
There's
Can't
like
even-
no on-street parking
Yeah,
at all.
but that's so students don't park there.
Yeah.
It's-
But I don't know that, I don't know, I'm just thinking, depending on, I'd be curious to kind of know what measurement is to where their driveway ends. So like, on the one that's on the east side of the roundabout, how far it is from our reference point where we start measuring to the side where they back out of their driveway, because clearly they're not gonna park in front of their driveway in the road. What that
You
distance
can always
is.
just take it.
But
Yeah.
just
it's
say
not,
go
they're
to
not
the-
even parking on that
It's
side
the-
though, they're parked on the other
It's
side.
the egress out of
Yeah.
the
As you come out of it,
roundabout
that's
a
the
big
one they're
concern, right?
parked,
Not
yeah.
so much the ingress.
Yeah, they're parked on the side where you come out, not the one you go in.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Which is, to
south-
me, that's because you're going fast.
Southeast corner.
You're like, whoa, what is
South-
that car? No,
southwest.
well, I'm just thinking for their own safety of their car, I wouldn't have
The
parked.
problem where Nelson's talking about is, you know, the west side on Goose Nest,
Yeah.
that's in the back of their house,
Yeah.
right? That's, their driveway for those houses face the other direction, right? There's a
No.
road.
No.
No, I think,
No.
On the west side, I mean.
They all face Goose Nest.
They
No,
all,
they all
yeah, all
Is it?
face.
All
that
face,
top
Because-
section.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
whole,
On the east side,
Oh.
you got the little cul-de-sac down behind, and then the other, you've got.
They're elevated, and so they have to come
Yeah.
off of that.
Yeah, you're right.
that's
And-
true, we should probably look at that.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
you're
get a
right.
couple cars parked in there, I mean, it's tight enough as it is.
Mhm.
You gotta put,
I mean, it's,
So,
yeah,
so as far
we
as
can
this is
navigate through
concerned,
there.
the apron.
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
let's
so give
close
us
this
Maybe
one out.
McKay could
Should
look
we
at
go
that.
75 feet on these signs, or 50 start with 75, 100?
I'd almost say take it almost to the driveway.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
You go
know,
out there and
because-
see what you think.
Because you
would
you
be-
go down, well,
You
that's
gotta
the
be
one,
there to
you
see.
look at it, I mean,
I
you've
would-
got the little bump, and then it's like another 30 feet, and you're on the other side of their driveway almost.
I mean,
All right.
depending on, I'll count it off tomorrow.
Count it off. Let's get the signs
I
ordered.
would rather make a decision based on actual measurements.
We'll get those signs up. Get those signs up. Now let's go back to the apron. Is this something that, I always worry about, you know, doing something that's not engineered, right? Both from a plan wise and from a preparation wise, right? So we can, is this something that we can just put in and know that when we go to develop that property there, that we can work with it? You know what I mean? So we spend the good money to do it right, or do we just do a stop measure thing, you know, just to, you
I
know,
think
something
you
that
can do it
later,
right.
we know it's gonna
It's
be
a small
torn out, you
piece.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm trying to figure out how much we do, because it's not been engineered, there's no, you know, I don't want to be the, you know, we just get out our shovel and
Right.
bring up the wheelbarrow and just pour a slab and call it good.
No, and I don't think it should be that way necessarily. I think
Yeah.
if we were to have, we could probably just have Shay pull the engineering design drawings for one of the kitty
Yeah, we
corners
could
to
do
that, and just take that and then just bring it around.
Kind of bring it around.
It really should be almost plug and play based on our
Yeah.
development standards.
Well,
And
yeah,
then-
and
And
if,
then do it that way so that down the road, it is plug and play.
yeah, as long as we require the same standards to be met as we do any of our other
Sure.
construction, you know, like this
Sure.
wouldn't be a project that we could just do. We would just pass all of the engineering and all that stuff on, like if we had Bert give us a quote or anybody, you know, another company give us a quote, just pass all the quality check stuff onto them to where we can hold them liable. And count
And
them.
is that, do we want to go down that path, or do we just want to
Well, this is pretty small.
do a stopgap measure?
This is
for
probably
the time being?
2 yards at a max, isn't it? Maybe 1 yard.
I
It's probably a
It's
6
gonna be
inch,
6-inch thick.
6
It'll
inch
be-
thick and a little rebar, and they, I don't know what
I
he's
bet
got
that,
on the
I
other
bet
2
that mud
aprons.
pit's 25 feet long.
say, I think
You get
I'll
out
have
there
to
and
get
start
a number.
knocking it off, it's bigger than it is when you're driving in
Can't you
a
just
car.
compact gravel in there?
Well, that was the other
Take,
issue.
take ground asphalt or gravel and just,
you'll have to get down to get subgrade,
Yeah.
accepting subgrade, and have, if you're gonna do it right, you should have that tested, and then you should have all of your road base and compaction and everything tested as well. If you're gonna do it right, that's why I would suggest doing it through, just having your contractor meet. You're gonna have to X that out. All that dirt that's been watered down and saturated is gonna have to
You're
come
gonna be
out.
down,
Maybe see
You're
what,
gonna have to excavate
18
that.
inches probably, 12 to 18.
So you're,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, you're,
maybe see what, RJ,
Right.
would charge to do that.
yeah, that would be what we would wanna do, is get a quote, get 2 or 3
All right,
quotes.
let's work on getting something drawn up in a quote,
Okay.
right?
Hold them to our same construction standards on it. So,
Every time you say, let's get something drawn up, it's like,
Yeah, well, actually,
Let's
Royce,
find out.
by the way, the only reason why I'm telling you that is because Royce reminds me of that,
Yeah.
because I'm doing it, and I'm like, well, we gotta try to stay in budget here.
get a bid on it, he knows what the
And then we
specs
should
are,
get-
he built it, so,
Yeah.
and
Dean would be, or not Dean, sorry, Bert would be, probably the easiest one to go through. He
Yeah.
already knows.
he's got all these.
Like you
we'll
say,
find out
it would
what
just
he's got.
kind of be
We'll
a
find
matter
out.
of
This
switching
probably is a
it.
good idea to get that done.
Yeah.
So I agree.
I
It's
dropped
kind
off
of-
there 2 times during the winter, when you can't see anything,
Oh, no,
and
you're in
it's
it.
just a lip there. And the snowplow, gives
Yeah.
you room for a snowplow if you're
Okay.
cutting through
Been
there.
falling off
All right,
right
the other
there a
thing
couple
was-
times. So.
I haven't. but
You
I'm
wanted
just
to
gonna
talk
drive
about that
it.
curb and gutter in front of that
Yeah,
home
it's
that's
not
between
bad.
the church and the end of, at
I only
Dean's.
drive it twice.
Yeah, that-
I
I think we need to make a decision on that. We discussed it before. I don't know if these other projects that were done, whether they were part of a improvement district or something that.
No,
What
we've
we're-
talked about that in the past, and every time we talked about it, it got shut down faster than, the opening day of dove season. I mean,
So
it didn't
what,
happen. Because in order for us to put a special service district in place, we have to actually let the residents vote on it, and then we go in and we specify a specific area and we put it in place.
Yeah,
It's a lot more involved
And in this
than
case,
doing
it's-
what we did.
In this
like
case, it's
on-
one house.
Yeah.
this is one house,
Right.
that's why I'm saying.
Just, if he's willing to pay for it,
He's not.
He's not willing to
Then-
pay for it.
then the only option we as a city, well, we have 2 options. We can put a lien on his property and have it done.
Right.
Or we can just pay for it.
Right.
And those are the 2 options.
And we've already said by precedence that we don't pay for
I
it.
was gonna say, I
So,
don't think that's something.
Yeah,
to
both of
start.
both options, we pay for it, right? We'd have to, as far as the
Oh,
lien
sure.
goes, we would have to pay
Yeah,
up
pay for it
front.
on the front end.
Yeah,
What was
And I-
that? Shrug for.
Royce?
Well, that was true. Both ways we pay for it.
Yeah, both ways.
We have a few examples that the lien's been on there a long time.
Really?
No, we
Yeah.
have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's just someday,
Well-
when this house sells, we'd get the money out of it.
Well, and it
Which
is
maybe
really
sooner
clear.
than later.
It's gonna be a few-
Because that's why he doesn't-
There is,
Yeah, he's gonna,
He'd probably fight the lien though.
there is an argument that the city has approved the subdivision there that is diverting all the water through his driveway and the bloody roads and cuts there. It's not his problem to,
The problem with that is, it's actually been designed and engineered to capture all the water coming off of theirs.
prior to.
There's places where they have the sumps and the diversion things that are there,
There's a
they've already started
huge-
working on.
They got a
The
huge.
water-
sump.
the water that's
Huge
gonna-
sump sits right there.
That is gonna be beyond that,
is
is
minimal.
already there. And
So,
we're not gonna have the same issue there that we had up on High Sierra. And High Sierra could have been addressed a whole lot quicker, but we got lost in the minutia of everything and
Yeah.
spent 4 years defining what is was. It just, I don't wanna go down that path again. I mean, frankly, if we
But
gotta
you're
go
right,
down there
Nelson,
and
this
deal with it.
development, at the very end, the downhill most point, there's a sump.
It's huge.
So, I mean, it's not gonna jump, but if it
Yeah.
does,
I told him
Then you
that
have
there
issue.
would be that was one of the options. I said, either you could pay for it, which he had offered to do earlier.
previously, yes, he had.
Previously, but the city wouldn't allow him to put it in.
Okay,
That happened on my street too, so.
Keep going.
And pay for it, or let's see, the 3 options, pay for it, we put a lien on it, or
We do nothing.
do nothing, yeah, but, well, actually, I guess there's just 2 options, and I thought I had 3.
Well, you got 3. Because if we do
that,
nothing,
That's true, that's not.
it would, in my opinion, be foolish to to finish that
You know, how much
and
is
just
it?
leave a
That
section,
extra 100 or 200 feet or whatever it is.
100 feet,
so
You're only
you're,
100-foot frontage?
yeah.
I'm trying to remember,
His is a real deep one.
you're,
Uh,
what,
and
probably,
he has a
probably
circle
$20 a foot, minimum,
Yeah.
just for the
please.
curbing. And
Uh,
then you've got other, so you got what, 100 and, I mean, you're gonna be, we're probably gonna be into it.
No, we never asked people to pay for their sidewalks.
Yeah, because this is the
Only
only, the only
No
area
precedent
there.
set to go in and
Well, we,
say.
we have,
they'll
we've
have
never
a
put
sign.
in sidewalks.
Correct, exactly.
Oh, the building's putting
And,
that.
and the thing that we have to remember, just around the corner, there's another house where they didn't pave. And then you go down the next street and you go up another house and there's another section with one house that's a holdout. I mean, we've got two within throwing distance of this guy's house. Right now, two others.
Yeah,
So you
Well,
would just start doing it and putting people's property liens?
No.
Well, the thing that I struggle, the thing that I'm struggling with.
That's pretty draconian, that's pretty, I don't really,
Well,
really
you know,
add
it's-
that.
I don't
At
know
the
how
same
that
time,
goes over.
you'll never
Yeah,
get
that's.
in.
I was gonna
Say
say.
you're gonna put a
You
lien
do
on
know how
something.
that goes over.
I'll never-
You won't
have
be
to
mayor by the
notify
time that
them.
goes
Actually-
in.
Let's put liens on.
actually, he
We'll all be
indicated,
gone, so.
he indicated he's there looking at trying to sell and buy one of the 55 and older
shoot,
houses
so.
there. So that lien would probably be paid off there sooner than later.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not the issue, the issue is this,
Well, and that's what he,
Do?
yeah, to me, I would just as soon pay it out of the storm drain money and have it done. It's a one house,
and do it.
These
and
others-
storm drain, the other one that Nelson's talking about, and the other one that he's
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah, might as well do it. We haven't,
Go up
we
on
haven't
King
spent any
Avenue.
money.
No, I don't.
We've collected a lot of storm drain, it's
Well, we
indicated.
we did
We,
collect a
uh,
lot, but when we put that in place and that fee was raised with the 4-to-1 vote, the reason for that was twofold. One, to take care of maintenance, operate the O&M of it, and to get a vac truck so we could take care of it in-house. And the other part was so that we'd have cash in place so that we could front the costs, so then we could work with the residents so they could pay us back.
Well, that was the
Down
other
the road.
option,
And
is that you could pay monthly on it.
And that's what we did out here on Escalante with most of
That's
those
the
residents.
3
Then
options.
we got that
So-
in Fremont too.
Well, on Fremont, yes, and I believe there's a couple homes that still have liens on them. Because they didn't want them, no way, no how.
On Escalante,
No, on
No,
Fremont.
Fremont. There
Are
might
there
be.
any?
I know
think
there's some in Loafer Canyon.
Yeah, same thing.
So why are we doing that?
Seems like we.
So it seems to me
Give
like
them
the
the option to
precedent's
pay it
been
back.
set.
Right?
But, the thing that I really struggle with, if these individuals went out and they contracted with a contractor to come in and do this work, they would pay a lot more than when we have the guys that are there doing this per foot.
Oh, yeah, no,
I mean,
have.
Fremont, it was
That
almost
bird
half
did run
what
that
they did.
another 100 feet while he's got all the equipment up here and everything.
Yeah, and wait,
That's
where
a far
he's
better
finishing it
deal.
off.
So.
Well, I asked Dean about that, and he said he'd get a figure, he'd check that, get a figure.
No,
What it would cost, but,
There's another approach, we could just have them come and put a little asphalt berm, asphalt gutters, like a
But
speed
that's-
bump, right down
part
along
of
front
it's
of
the look of the city too, that's
Oh,
your
I-
main, that's your
I know
main
it.
driveway, and that whole road is
You
being
guys are
developed.
quiet.
42-foot wide there, and you have this
I don't
one
think so
section
that
that
much.
there's no sidewalk.
I see
I don't
both
think it's
sides.
unfair to try to get into it.
I'd be so mad if you put a lien on my house to do that.
Jim, give us some words
I'd
of
fire
wisdom.
my
I'd
ears.
hire an attorney real quick. I think you need to do it right.
What
Do it
does
right.
that mean?
Put
What
a
does that-
sidewalk in, match
Sidewalk
what's
in.
going in,
You gotta do a lien, you gotta do a lien.
do a lien, give the option to pay it back over time. I mean, we're not interested in making
See,
any
but
money
that's
off
not right
of
for
it
the
or anything like
homeowner.
that.
He was
And
there
it will
first.
be considerably
He was there
less.
first, before you regret the sidewalks. It's not really fair to the homeowner. to
Dang it.
lien on his house.
Don't you hate living in the city?
He was probably here before
But
it was
it
the
does
city.
make his property
No, he
look
wasn't
better.
actually.
But
His
still,
house was built just a few years before
He was,
mine.
Yeah.
he was
I
there.
know.
Also could end up
Those right.
Could end up
with some
in court.
EPA issues as well if we
Then you're
don't
gonna waste
complete
a lot
that
of money.
down the road.
Ooh,
Well, we're good
What's
for the
that?
next 3.5 years.
EPA issue.
We could end up with some EPA issues as well
Yeah.
if we don't complete that. You know, I'm not
More than-
saying in within the next few years with
We're
Trump,
okay.
but
Is he okay with us putting a lien on his house?
Oh, heaven.
Well,
Right, shh.
I'd just
Do
soon
you-
put it in, personally,
Yeah.
but I mentioned that to him, I said, that was the three options. Either you pay for it up front, you could pay for it over time, or we just put it in and we have to put a lien on your house. Where all these other 4 lots that are coming in or having to put in curb and gutter and
What did you say
sidewalk
about the
there.
lien?
He said, well, I guess I can't stop the city from doing that, but Donald Nelson's not interested in paying for that. And he said, and then he mentioned that I think that they ought to put in the curb at least to
Cost.
to
It'll cost
run their
more.
water through, but I think we ought to put it in while Dean's doing that whole thing, when he does it. Finish that up. He has a circle drive, and I think there's about 15 feet wide on each side of 100-foot frontage
And I
that
wish
they
somebody
wouldn't
would
run
come
the
up to my
sidewalk
house and
through.
say, we're gonna put gutter in front of your house. Would you mind? I'd say, oh, I'd love it.
Well, that's exactly what happened when they repaved my road.
That's like,
They showed up and said, we're taking it out. And yet, most of my neighbors at the time wanted to put it in.
yeah.
And I told Gary Prestwich, I was like, you're gonna have to come remove me forcibly with law enforcement. I'll go lay in the gutter. Take my gutter from me. I am dead serious.
You had curb and gutter.
And I had curb and gutter. I'm like, you're not taking it out. I mean, honestly, that was the reason one of the reasons I picked my lot. Because I knew that at some point in time, some future council would come in and say, you've gotta have it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to have landscaping all the way to the road.
These are kind of isolated, even if there's 3 of them.
I think,
it's
I
isolated
think that this is
situation.
a pretty critical area. I mean, this is Elk Ridge Drive.
Yeah, this is.
It'd be nice to
the
have
main
it.
drive.
It'd be nice
And
to-
they're widening
Completed
that whole
right
road is being
Yeah.
finished.
All right, let's put it in and
Right?
put a lien.
I mean, it's, the thing that's hard is you have people that have
Easy
paid.
need to get
peasy,
it.
huh?
We need to get a bid.
Yeah.
We
I'm
need to get
just
a bid.
sweating
Find
bullets.
out-
Talk to him, not to sell his house.
Or is anyone else sweating bullets?
You know what, they did that to us in Springville, we owned a condo, they declared it a special improvement district, they sent us a letter and said, you now have a lien on your property for this amount of money until it's paid.
And the reality of it is, we can do it if Royce felt.
You don't really have a lot to say.
Yeah.
You can still.
I mean, it's,
You can always go to court with it.
What's that
I
mean?
mean, it'd be something new for me, but we can do it.
I mean, we've not done
I
that.
mean,
the reality of it is, what we're facing there and what we have going on in other parts of town could be properly dealt with. But the only way that we could really deal with it is to grab that Band-Aid, just rip it off and do it, so to speak, with the special improvement district. I mean, really, that's the only way that we're ever gonna get.
But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna go find them everywhere and do it.
Well, it's real easy. I'll bet McKay could tell you where all the problems are, because after every rainstorm, where you get a real cleanup, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's,
it's only take a minute.
Well,
probably
that
pretty
requires
sure.
a public
Canyon
hearing.
is one of them.
Lower Canyon's a mess.
Jim?
Well, when you put a new home in, you're paying for the sidewalk and the curbing. What difference does it make you put it in when you build a home? Or you lived in it for 20 years and now you're getting a lien to put on, you're still paying for it.
And
Homeowners
actually,
shouldn't be upset because everybody pays for it. one way or the
Yeah, but one way or another, they're paying for it.
Well, and
Developer's not.
and one positive thing there, if he is planning to sell his home, this will be a much nice improvement to street, just the street appeal, having that in there, even if it's, he's got the lien on it.
Yeah, it's gonna look pretty
It's
good.
gonna look a lot
and
nicer.
I'm gonna go back to the storm drain fee thing, just one more piece on this.
Yeah.
When that was voted on and we had the 4-1 vote, the reason I dissented was because I said, I've already paid for my curbing and I don't want this money going to pay for curbing for everybody else, and I'm subsidizing it.
Yeah.
And they said it wasn't going to be used for that purpose, where it just covered their cost.
Yeah.
Outright.
I don't think it
And
should.
so,
I don't think it should. I think
Yeah.
it's wrong. It's the wrong fund to use. I'd rather have a special improvement district. Go through the city, look at where we have the places that we need to get trued up, right?
Mhm.
Create a special service improvement district, and those are the people that are gonna pay for it.
Well, for this one then, I'd say, let's go ahead and get the bid from Dean or RJ or whoever would be doing that, and I think we put it in. We're gonna have to review some code.
We're gonna have to
So
understand.
how about
Just to
property
start
owners
with,
that
get
don't
three
mow their
bids.
weeds, can we mow it,
Let's
and
not
lay
mess
on the
around.
property? Same thing.
We had a discussion about
Actually,
that.
it would be the first time that we've threatened to do that.
Now we've got it more than we.
All right, so Dell, we're gonna get a bid from Bert, find out what, or whoever, Dean, or whoever it is.
Yeah, CJ Concrete will
We're gonna
be,
get that.
will be who's doing the rest
Now, I
of the
don't
project.
think, honestly, I don't think you can include the sidewalk in this, because we've never done anything with sidewalk through the city like that.
Well, that's what I was just gonna ask too, is can you lean on the sidewalk
Do the sidewalk.
or just on the curb and gutter?
Just on curb.
So I'm looking
Kind of what I thought
We
too.
don't pay for the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Because to do sidewalks, what you'd have to do is you'd have to say, you can't just pick him out, you'd have to say, we're gonna create a special improvement district and put sidewalks everywhere,
Yeah,
right? And everybody's gonna pay for it.
yeah.
That
The other
that
thing
affects.
too is his driveways are gonna have to be cut out and we'll have to pay for whatever, I mean, I guess he pays for it.
Well, that driveway's on city
But-
property, right away.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
But at
What
the
did we
same
do
time,
up,
we can't
what
cut
did
it
we
out.
do up, Escalante there when we straightened that road? And we had to put, did we pay for those driveways?
This over here?
Yeah.
No,
When
each one entered into a contract
They
with the
entered
city.
into a contract.
And they made payments,
So,
which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
yeah,
It took forever to get them all paid off.
so, you know,
So,
the most recent reference, or point that we could reference is probably over at Fitzgerald's on Hillside, where when they came in and cut the road in and made the transition between his old section of driveway and the curbing. Because there was a section of that, I don't know. That's why
That's
I'm
went through
bringing
the
it up.
developer.
the developer,
The
The
developer
developer
paid for
just took
that.
care of it.
But I
Yeah,
think we would have to put the
On
sidewalk.
McCain.
yeah.
If we want.
Came in the other day.
Sidewalk or asphalt.
But for the curb, I think we need to do
This
it.
is, you see the, why did
Look at
they
it.
patch the?
Try to get a bid
We'll get a
for
bid.
the sidewalk also.
Hey, Mayor,
And then see.
Yeah.
can I bring up a related topic?
Chunking it, there's some places that need to be filled.
Is there any way we
On the
can
north
get
side,
those
or on the new
contractors,
side?
when I have to
On
fold
the
in
east
my
side,
mirrors
side,
to get my
okay.
truck through there?
Well, the dumpsters aren't supposed to be on.
The
dumpster's
dumpster's
gone.
on, this is the vehicles, they're double
Vehicles?
parking in there,
Yeah, they are.
and it's
Oh, they
less
always
than
do.
one lane, I had to fold in my mirrors to get
Are
by.
you kidding me? Half the time I have to drive around to get my neighborhood because they do that. That's normal.
No, it's not.
No, it is. If
No,
you
it's
live where there's a
not.
lot of
They
construction,
can park,
that's
they
your
have
right.
cul-de-sacs,
Tell me the
they park,
ordinance
they're too
that they're
lazy to
violating.
walk a few
Tricia, the
feet.
problem was that they had a trailer that was parked next to the side. Then they had a guy that pulled his truck and a trailer next to that. And then they had
Is it
another
too
car
lazy?
parked on the other side of the road too.
Well, they.
So
That
that they were
happens.
three wide.
Well,
Like
there
that
is-
happens
there is
all the
traffic
time
Okay,
around
so
where they're building.
what-
Like where I ride in
What recourse do
Salisbury,
we have?
I have to go all the way around
Building
to try to get in.
permit.
You know what I mean?
double,
That's
you can't
wrong.
park double
They
wide.
You can't double park, that's gonna be
That's fair
the
enough.
sheriff, yeah, if
That's
we
fair
can
enough.
catch
That's
that one,
sheriff.
if I can know about that
That's the
one.
sheriff, we let you.
That, what is,
So you need
so I
to
get
call
tickets
the
on
sheriff.
that.
But
Well, Paul and
You
I
see
both
it,
yelled at him.
They
and
all do
moved.
it.
Okay, if you see that again, let me know.
Okay, I'll call you next time.
Just call sheriff, just call sheriff and let him know.
If they're double parked, that's,
I didn't know
that's
this
a
was something to get
violation,
mad
yeah.
about because I've been
Yes.
driving around for
Well, yeah,
years.
they should be able to double
They're out
park.
again.
It's-
Actually, as far as the
dumpsters,
as far as the suggestion on the dumpsters though, I did like, I saw that you did put the tape across there and have the
See,
backhoe there.
and we put so many signs out last year. We had those things covered in signs.
I think we need to brainstorm
And
again,
it
see if there's
just-
something we can do.
Well,
I think from
What
the
if you did put yellow tape across, all the way across, so
I
we
can
could
tell you
even
we can
drive
have
back
them.
to the dumpsters?
Yeah.
See,
all?
that's what we
They're
ended
gonna
up
care of
doing, is putting the backhoe across
What about the shattered mirrors?
and putting the yellow tape across them after.
No,
they
it was
were
the,
filled.
the oven.
Oh.
And the oven, the glass.
That was
top.
last year.
One last thing here.
Oh.
We have general plan, intro, and vision statement.
Yes, planning commission has asked, as they're taking the steps to revise this, that we get a feel from the council, so we don't get to the end and then all of a sudden you say, don't like the first thing you did. So that which, the first part impacts other places down the road. So we're trying to get it back to you So we kind of do this all through the next few months, and so when it comes time for approval, it's simple.
Do we want bedroom community in there still?
Well, unless we're gonna allow massive amounts of commercial development, we're always gonna be a bed, unless we had 20 or 30 acres, there's gonna all be zone commercial, we're gonna be a bedroom community just by definition.
I think most people want a good community up here.
I mean, that's what attracts.
Until tax day comes.
I just have had a lot of people saying, we're a bedroom community, so why would you guys allow Haskell to do that?
It was zone commercial.
We're primarily, we are.
It's been zone commercial since we
No, I
lived here
know.
25 years ago.
I know, I just didn't know if that.
I'm
you know
not
what
sure a
saying?
bedroom
I'm just trying to
community
bring that up.
prohibits
Any,
Doesn't
office
actually-
space.
Doesn't prohibit all commercial.
necessarily.
We're not having heavy industrial.
I just don't want that coming back.
They debated what bedroom community meant. They debated what rural meant.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
You've already been here.
Yeah, they've been,
Yeah.
well, that's why
They've
they
been
like-
doing
But you
several
read this
months.
over and see if we're okay.
They've been referencing the dictionary quite a bit.
So do we fit the bedroom community definition, even with some commercial?
That was my only concern.
Now, one of the things, if it's okay, Mayor, that I'll bring up, in the meetings that I attended in April, a couple of points that were brought up. As they're going through this, there's a section of the general plan that specifically talk about things like PUD, senior housing overlay. Their thought on it was, let's take it out, because it's already run its course, we don't need it in our code anymore, let's take that code, get rid of it, let's take that out of our general plan. That was kind of the thought process that they had. I tend to agree with them, I mean, I don't see a reason to have something in there that really can't.
I don't want it to use.
Well, I don't want
frankly,
to overutilize it.
Yeah, exactly. Good way to say it.
So,
So you wanna take out all the PUD things
No,
down there?
no, just make it so that we don't have any more,
Oh,
because
okay.
we've met those demographics, so to speak.
Okay,
We don't need to continue.
Based on the.
I'd like to see it go.
yeah.
One question, also, I haven't heard anything further on that, on the 5-foot sidewalk requirement. Where's that set?
We haven't done anything with it.
They
They've had discussion, but that's as far as.
Yeah.
Isn't anywhere.
I don't think
So we need to,
Planning commission done anything with that or anything?
I'd like to see us follow that through. Maybe next, put it on the agenda for next city council.
Well, I think it would be just,
We presented it to
Well,
them.
It'd be something that will be discussed in conjunction with the development standards, which are kind of a piece of, they're like the.
And Jim can correct me, but it kind of took a negative tone on there. I don't think there was much acceptance to widening the,
Yeah, because
They
so
decided
much
to
of the
leave
city's
the
already got 4
yeah, Paul attended also on that one,
Yeah, I
right?
attended that meeting, yeah.
So it didn't take any
Yeah,
traction to it.
Yeah, they're gonna leave,
Well, I
decided to
think,
leave it
uh,
at 4 feet, even though the ADA wants 60 inches.
yeah.
Well, as long as we've got our signs up at the right height and they're not over 60 inches and not below 60 inches, we'll be fine.
That they're
The
right.
handicap
Well, their
spots.
biggest problem is, the sidewalks now are 4 feet, they didn't want it to match up to a sidewalk going to 5 feet,
Yeah.
because that was really
Like
dumb.
nonsense.
But they were looking at
That was at the
new
meeting.
development, being a 5-foot.
Well, most of the only real new development that we have really that's left is gonna be
Old folks.
up on the, well, you've got it's gonna be at the south end of town where you're gonna have more slopes and it's gonna be even more challenging to put a 5-foot wide
Yeah.
sidewalk in.
There,
There
what we need there is, we need to get a good trail plan through that development, those developments.
And that'll-
And I think that was their opinion too, that most of the development's already in the works somewhere, and they just figured it
There's
was.
little pieces here and
Yeah.
there, but it's like,
There's not a lot,
there really isn't much.
compared to what we've been through.
Yeah, we should have done that.
But that'll open
Several
up
years
south,
ago.
we wanna make sure we have a handle on this south end development.
And that's part of the different maps that would be part of this general plan.
So, this vision statement says we're a dark sky community, which includes well-planned parks, trails, and open spaces, open space areas. I don't know if I believe that.
If you would,
You
believe
don't
it.
believe that?
Oh,
Well,
there
then-
is a well-planned trail system, or the.
Are we a dark sky community? Because we have no dark sky ordinance.
Then maybe we need to.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to entertain one?
But
I'm ready to
there's
write
no-
one. Actually, Garden City's
I
already
think
put one
dark
in.
sky.
Does that mean we can't have?
I mean, the only thing that we have related to that is within our development code that says that when they put the lights in, they have to shine
The
down.
hood.
The hood and so forth, and here's the irony, this is talking about the lights along the trails. I mean, that's the only place that we've really addressed it in
Right,
our code.
right.
And
I'd like to
we're,
see
we're,
us-
we're really dark sky compliant down by Tricia, because there's no lights, the lights can't come on.
Well, dark sky also includes, if you really look at dark sky.
Well, you're talking about the lights
turn
on
off your
houses.
residential.
lights on
Residential.
houses,
Light trespass,
Yeah.
light,
Pollution.
pollution, you know what I mean? Because if you
Yeah.
notice
That
what's
is on the
happening.
hillside.
You can, it used to be you come home and you look up and those skies are crystal clear. But now if you're next to a certain homes, you can't see the sky anymore.
I leave my lights on all
It's
night.
pretty
Right.
well lit up.
That's not dark sky compliant.
But do you have 50 lights up through your eaves and all the way
No.
around
Not
your
me.
house? and-
No, but when we had all those
I
creepers
know.
wandering around in our neighborhood,
You still have.
It's
That
okay,
actually-
it's okay to leave your lights on, that's
They
not the
have
problem. It's the
studies to show
people
that,
have-
that lighting on your house
Yeah. Lights all
can
the
actually
time.
make it worse because it'll cast shadows that you can't see into. And so you have, typically, they use, I mean, the research that I've done, that's not a good argument for lots of lighting.
that's true.
You're talking about the casino.
Right.
Well, it
It's
does
just-
help.
Most people are vulnerable because of this shrubbery they have around their house and those kind of
That's
things
true.
that people can hide in.
I can see better when I come out
Casino.
and there are no lights on.
Yeah.
I can see
On hillside.
everywhere in my yard versus even when I've got a few lights.
He's up on, he's up on a hill.
I mean, for safety,
And
let's be
then
honest,
he's
a
got
dog's the
lights all
biggest
the way
concern.
up.
No, seriously,
And he
a dog's a
Then you
bigger
go to
concern
do-
than an alarm.
So here's my question. I want to be a dark sky community. I'd like to have a dark sky
All my
ordinance.
neighbors have them.
So let's get a code.
So I'm gonna look at the Garden City ones and the one that's on the
Yeah,
dark sky
yeah. We're
website.
just finishing up.
I would actually like to be a dark sky, on the dark sky city registry, as a dark sky city.
Because there are people who
Just a second, well.
would go onto that site and look for cities that are, if they're moving to an area, and that would steer.
That's gonna steer them.
Steer
All right.
right.
Yeah.
Does that prohibit people from putting their outside lights on? I have mine on all night just because there's a lot more thievery going on up around here than there.
It pertains to
But you crack windows.
the kind of lighting that you have, the angles in which it shines. How
much
much you
It's more
get.
than just
Two
leaving your
words.
porch light
Would be
on.
trapped.
That's,
Light-
that's not.
Light pollution is a
That's
serious
fine.
issue,
Mhm. Yeah.
especially if you have a telescope.
It's true.
Mhm.
Go if they can.
So,
Well,
No,
Where
and
I
that's,
used- where I used to live, you had to go up.
well, I don't wanna be, I
not
wanna
if
be
you're
a,
a dark sky community though, then you don't. You,
I personally, when I come home at night and it's quiet, and I've been in a city, and I get out of my car and I look up and I can see that dark sky, I just melt. It's just something that I just treasure. And it's losing. I think they estimated that 90% of the people on the planet have never seen the Milky Way.
What?
yeah.
Because of light pollution.
I never
Because
seen
the
it
high
on
density
the air.
cities, you can't see anything in those cities.
that's true. When I lived in Fort Lauderdale, I was like, are there still stars in the sky? And I'm not kidding you.
So anyway, my point is, I think I'd like to bring a ordinance forward with dark sky.
But you gotta think about public safety too, though.
Well, like I said, they've done studies, it doesn't help, because they hide in the shadows and you can't see them with the light pollution.
That's your number one deterrent.
Big dose.
Proven fact.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well, you're
They
right.
said-
We're wrapping up.
No.
Yes,
A
it is.
I think
sign,
that-
beware of dog is the
I can
number
Will
one
you
deterrent.
read through this?
Yeah, I like that, personally, I like
As
that.
someone whose husband traveled for 6 years and was gone more than half
You know,
the
even
year.
that description is, you know, the fact that we don't have any streetlights,
But the
is,
thing is,
I think, in a
you
lot
have
of
that.
people's
I'm saying
mind.
a dog, they hear a dog barking.
Dark
they're
sky.
like, No questions asked. I'm dead
That's what you
serious.
get for listening to the news last night.
All right, I guess we're done.
It's not